Building a custom bed with storage bays. This project started off by wanting to create some custom storage bays for some wicker baskets that we bought a few years ago, and also needing to replace an old single-size bed. I have to give credit to my wife here as she made the design for this bed and created the model in AutoCAD, and the cutting plans which are downloadable via a link in the description below. The bed will have 4 large side-facing bays for the 4 wicker baskets, and on the opposite side there are 4 smaller storage bays which will face the wall. We decided to use 3/4 of an inch plywood finished with American red oak veneer on both sides. The project requires 3 8x4 foot boards which came to roughly $180. Luckily in our city there is a plywood yard which has free local delivery for any spend over $70. I am cutting the boards to size on an 8x4 foot 2-inch deep polystyrene base on our driveway. Cut lines have blue painter's tape in place to help avoid any tear out. I am using a quality brand cutting blade with 60 teeth to help achieve cleaner cuts. It took me roughly 8 hours to measure, tape, draw the cut lines and saw the wood. I only had one incident to chip out, but I managed to find the veneer chip and glue it back in place. The storage area will form something similar to a torsion box and use interlocking slots. Here I am chiseling and drilling out the upper parts of the slots. Next I lightly sand all the pieces using 180 grit sandpaper. Now to apply the first coat of water-based transparent matte polyurethane to every piece. Once they have dried, I sandpaper them lightly using 220 grit paper. Then I give everything a second coat of polyurethane and no sanding once dry. The finished bed will weigh roughly 180 pounds or 82 kilos. So I decided to assemble the majority of the bed using 1 1/4 inch screws and recycling some old 1 by 1/2 inch wood into blocks, which are then pilot drilled and countersunk with hose 90 degrees offset. By doing it this way I can easily disassemble the bed if we ever need to move to another house. First I join the base frame corners. Now I'm measuring to make sure the base frame is dead center for joining to the baseboard. Again I'm using more wood blocks and screws to secure the base frame to the baseboard. Now it is time to flip the base over. Now to assemble the interlocking storage areas. More wood blocks and screws to secure the storage walls. I am deliberately locating them in the least visible areas. Some additional blocks to secure the top board. Now to slide the mattress board into place and secure it with more screws and blocks. Onto the footer baseboard, which I raise to the correct height using scraps of wood and some cardboard. I placed a push stick at the footer board so it remains tight whilst pilot drilling and screwing into position. Now I glue the left side vertical trim piece in place. It is deliberately glued only on one edge to the footer board for easy disassembly. Onto the header baseboard with the same install procedure as the footer baseboard. Next, the right side vertical trim piece. Now to glue in place the first horizontal trim to the top board. This trim also acts to keep the mattress in place. There are 3 remaining vertical trim separators to glue in place for the main storage areas. Now I repeat the same for the trim pieces on the opposite side. Some of the alignment wasn't 100% correct, so I made some spacer shims to fill the gap. I overcut one of the baseboard corners, so I used an offcut to create a filler piece with grain continuity and glued it in place. The build took me approximately 2 weekends of work, plus my wife's 1 day of design time. Well, I hope this video has given you some ideas and inspiration to go and create your own unique bed with custom storage areas according to your needs and taste. If the video was useful, please consider giving it a like or subscribing to my channel. Many thanks.